Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Get my controller. Alright, got my drink, got my snacks. There we go, mic's adjusted. So from what you saw in the opening screen, this is indeed the hunter called the Wild. So I will say that if you have an issue with hunting or with killing animals in general, I would suggest you skip over this video now. Because me, I hunt in real life, and I actually got this game because I haven't been able to really go hunting like I want to. I mean, I didn't get a chance to go deer hunting this past season. But I do enjoy this game. I've actually, in the online community and everything, I've seen quite a few people that enjoy this game. Even people that don't get into hunting for real. My old lady, even she's participated in a little bit of bird hunting and some small game hunting. Well, she doesn't get into it like I do. And I'm not saying that that's, something that, just anybody can get into. It takes a special someone to get into hunting. I personally like this game because it is structured differently than any other hunting game I've ever played. So I'm going to come down here to New Game. You will delete all of your previous progress. I am okay with that. So, since I'm assuming that's female because she was the last one to play. Who is Remy Warren? I don't know, but I have played this game a pretty good bit. And I'm gonna start in Layton Lake because that's one of the base game options. There are other options. You've got Hirschfelden located in, I believe it's in Europe, or Germany, I meant. Of course it's in Europe. It says right there that it's in Europe. Layton Lake is a little bit more at home to me because the environment is a little bit more like the Lake Seminole area. Medved Taiga, located in Russia. It's a lot of snow, and you would think that with it being snow, it'd be easier to see what you're after, but that is definitely not the case. The Virunga Savannah takes you to the heart of Africa, where you can hunt the much bigger, much more, what's the word I'm looking for? The exotic game, like lions, warthogs. It even says there, springbok, scrubbling hare, wildebeest, side-striped jackal, those type things. Parque Fernando, I've actually never played. Inside the Southern Beach Forest, Parque Fernando. I don't see where it's actually located, but I'll go through it on the map. Yukon Valley is up in Alaska, and Yukon Valley is easily, if it's not my favorite, it's a close runner-up because the variation in game here is amazing. And I'll get into all the class in a little bit. But Yukon Valley is one of the places that the classes go from 1 all the way up to 9. You can hunt in literally any class, so it's really a bit of a challenge, and there's so much diversity in Yukon Valley. I mean, it's really a great place to go. Cuatro Colinas I was playing on for a little bit. It's located in Mexico, I believe. It's a lot like Hirschfelden. It's a lot of open field areas, and there is a bit of forest in there. From what I saw, like I said, I didn't play it for very long because I'm a busy guy. I work for a living. I don't get to sit at home on the game all the time, despite the fact that sometimes I wish I could. Silver Ridge Peaks, I can't remember exactly where it is. Never played it, but from what I understand, it is mountainous, very rocky, but it's also got a lot of forest type area. Tea Warrior, I've actually watched my daughter play this a little bit. Tea Warrior is beautiful from what little bit I saw her play. She, now granted, my daughter doesn't have the patience or the aptitude that I do when it comes to these type things. She's more fascinated with the dog and the scenery, so she's more exploring, while she did manage to clip a turkey while she was out and about hunting. But Tea Warrior is really a beautiful, beautiful place from what I saw. Rancho del Arroyo is another place I haven't played yet, and some of you probably sitting back like, man, you really like you're talking about this game like you know something about it, but you haven't played. Look, dude, probably 80 to 90% of all these reserves that I'm going through are paid DLC, which means that not only did I pay, what was it, $35, $40 for the game itself. Yes, I bought it used from GameStop on a whim. Sometime last year. I want to say it was still warm weather, so I'm thinking June last year. I bought it totally on a whim. I wanted something that would give me a hunting experience, because like I said, I can't get out like I want to. But Rancho del Arroyo, I haven't played yet. From what I understand, it's similar to Cuatro Colinas. Just judging from the icon up there, it looks to be desertous or desert terrain. Not a whole lot of forest going on, but that's just going from the icon, which that could be, something totally different. Now, Mississippi Acres is my second oldest son likes Mississippi Acres, but he also has a fascination with alligators. He also has a fascination with Godzilla, but that's neither here nor there. But his fascination with alligators, that's all that he ever hunts when he comes to Mississippi Acres. Now, Mississippi Acres has a very different diversity of animals. Like what little bit I did play Mississippi Acres for a good bit, because again, that feels down home to me. That feels like something I'm more familiar with. But it seems that the lower class animals are more common in Mississippi Acres, or at least to me it does. Mississippi Acres is very swampy, a lot of water, and a lot of going around to get from point A to point B. But again, nonetheless, it's a great map to play. I would highly recommend keeping at least one weapon or firearm with you that can handle Class 1 and Class 2, because that's a lot of what Mississippi Acres is, or at least in my experience it was. Revontuli Coast is another one that I haven't played yet, but from what I understand, it's again a lot of water and also a lot of birds. I've went on to the actual website and on the wiki for this to kind of get an idea of what all the places were when I was deciding my next reserve, when I'm like, hey, I should just like Mississippi Acres. I just jumped in like, let's see what goes on here. But Revontuli Coast has the most Class 1 animals in any map, and also has the most animals of any map. But again, out of the 17 different animals, or 20, whatever, how many, it's a really high number. And like 3/4 of that number is birds, which are all Class 1. New England Mountains, again, from what I understand, is exactly what it sounds like. It's mountainous. It's kind of like Layton Lake from what I understand, as far as the animal diversity and the classes you're going to be hunting. Emerald Coast is like Virhonga Savannah. It's truly like different. Probably the biggest difference is the fact that it is flat, and I do mean flat. If you're able to find a spot kind of high up, it's easy to find animals from a great distance. But because of the animals that are in Emerald Coast, as you can tell from the icon, the number one animal you're going to come across is the kangaroo, the eastern gray kangaroo to be more specific. To line up a shot over those distances, maybe I didn't have the proper gun, maybe I didn't have the proper experience or the proper any of that, but it was very, very difficult. Some of those ranges were redonkulous. I'm talking 300 and 400 yard ranges. I did play multiplayer a couple times with a buddy of mine that I used to work with, and I was literally I was in a lookout tower with my binoculars looking down, telling him, hey man, you got this, this, and this, and he was trying to sneak up on him because he was trying to get his XP and everything up. He didn't buy DLCs like I did. I have bought just about every DLC there is for this game. The only DLCs I have not bought are cosmetics. And that brings us back to the beginning, Hirschfelden. But, like I said, I'm going to go to Layton Lake. I know Layton Lake a lot better. And I feel like I could be a better guide, a better teacher, I guess you would say, to... like right there, you got a wild boar, a red deer, and a black bear right there in the beginning with the hunter in the middle. Oh. So let's get this started, shall we?
You made it here in one piece. Welcome to the Untamed Wild. Name's Colton Locke, but everyone calls me Doc. I'm the warden up here, and I know just about every nook and cranny of this place. I heard this is your first time in the Pacific Northwest and Lake District. Well, this here's the best hunting reserve you'll find in 100 miles. I've been hunting here my whole life, and I still don't get tired of this place.
Alright, so we start off, you got a cell phone in hand. Well, it's not actually a cell phone, but that's what it looks like.
Look around. There's a lot to discover around here. Not just the big game. Let's see what you can do. Try to find an animal track around here.
So at first glance, you can see the rich environment. I mean, just amazing, immaculate. The developers that worked on this really, really did a good job. I mean, the detail of the grass, the trees, just everything. Oh, and where it says press left bumper to bring out the hunter mate, that little cell phone looking thing in my hand, that's what that is. Now, start off with a pretty good selection. You start off with the Ranger 243 equipped with soft point bullets, the Caversham Stewart 12 gauge equipped with 12 gauge buckshot, and the 357 Picasso 357 with jacketed hollow point bullets. Now, you start off with a couple of calls. You got your scent killer here. Oh, I did not mean to pull that out. I don't want that. I want that. So, let's take our binoculars. And it's always a good idea to crouch when you first get started.
There. Use your binoculars to get a closer look.
We have white-tailed deer traveling. She is a class 4. She's a level 1 trivial, 50 to 70 yards away. Your little pop-up up there that you see in the top right corner will tell you more than enough information about any and every animal. Now, I'm going to go down here to this first. Affected species, white-tailed deer, black-tailed deer, mule deer, and sika deer. Effective range is 150 meters, and attraction strength is about 50%. I'm just going to... Let me lay flat so she doesn't see me that well. Let's pull out my rifle.
Be sure to aim for its vital organs.
Here
Heart
she
and lung
comes.
shots mean quicker kills, less painful.
Come on, baby.
Gentle now. Take a deep breath to steady your aim.
Come on, baby. Get off from behind that table. And you start off with a pretty ample amount of ammunition. You see I've got 5 in the mag and 45 to spare. There she goes. And... well, I got her. She
It's bleeding,
stumbled.
so that's a hit. Follow the blood trail to find it. Shouldn't have gone far.
Now, you're always going to have blood if you get a hit.
Careful. The underbrush can be a bit noisy this time of year. If an animal hears you approaching, you better believe it'll turn tail and run. Or worse.
Now, I'm going to show you some of this without the DLC, so if you do buy this game, you go to GameStop, or maybe you buy it online, whatever, you'll be able to do this without. Now, see, once I highlight the tracks, it tells me it's a white-tailed deer. It does not tell me the gender or anything like that, but it does tell me the animal is running.
White-tailed deer are often slightly bigger than the blacktail, but they're quicker to flee if they sense danger.
Let me bleed rate medium, which is good. And there she is. Which this is going to, when I get here, this will bring me up to my harvest screen. Now, notice that on the right-hand side, it tells you all the fun stuff. What weapon you used, ammunition used, distance. I popped her less than 15, just barely under 15 yards. That was a close shot. And you get a weapon score. For every weapon score you get, that's the more experience you get. And there are certain things that you unlock in the shop based on weapon score. You have rifle score, shotgun score, handgun score, and bow score. It's either bow score or archery score. I can't remember. But you see on the left side, that tells you all the technical stuff. Class 4, it's a female. The weight, fur orientation, track and distance. I only tracked her 67 yards, which I've tracked animals for quite some distance. I did not get a trophy rating on this because she's a female. Only males are rated as trophies. Now, if you notice, right next to where the X is, where it says trophy rating and harvest check, there are 4 things that go into a harvest check. That is, and I'm going to go from left to right. The first icon, the little stack icon, that is ammunition. You have to use ammunition that is specified for the class of animal you're hunting. Number 2 is the little accuracy marker, is that I killed the animal with the ample amount of shots allotted. You're allotted 2 shots. You're allowed 1 shot. Hopefully, 1 shot can do the job. Hopefully. However, if the first shot does not do the job, if you're shooting at something kind of tough, you're allowed a second shot. After 2 shots, you will fail that portion. The third one, the little deer antler looking deal there, that is, did you hit the trophy organ? In which case, it will tell you up top there where it says trophy type, trophy organ. And it will tell you which part of the animal is considered a trophy, be it the weight, how big the animal is, the size of its skull, the size of its tusks, if it's wild boar, or in this case, white-tailed deer, which are antlers. She does not have antlers. Why it says trophy organs, none. Hence, that's why I do not get a trophy score for her. I do, however, get XP and money off of her, just not as much as if she was a trophy kill. And the very last part of the harvest check, the little heart icon, did I hit a vital organ? In which case, yes, I did. I do like the fact that the game grades you based on the fact that you killed the animal humanely. Because if you use improper ammo, whether it's underpowered or overpowered, you will fail the ammo check and the harvest check. If you have to bludgeon the animal to death, you have to take more than 2 shots. Again, you will fail that portion of the harvest check. Now, the part of the part of not hitting the trophy organ, that just any hunter knows that. You don't go for, like, if you're wanting to put that 15-point antler rack on your wall, you definitely don't want to shoot the deer in the face or the head. All right, you want to hit them somewhere that can be discarded when the animal is harvested, and you can put the mount on your wall. And then, of course, vital organ, you want to hit them somewhere that they're going to bleed out really, really quickly. Now, this is an X-ray shot. You can pull your right trigger, pull up X-ray. You can see a really good X-ray of the animal. And the red organ, of course, is the affected organ. Now, I hit her in the left lung. Right? Oh yeah, it says up there on the right hand side in the orange where it says flesh and left lung. You're always going to get flesh. Always. But situated right there between the lungs, if you look carefully, just a little bit below, I actually aimed a little high, but if you look just below between the two lungs, that is the heart. That is where you want to hit this animal. And the animal may not run. Unsaved harvest, yeah, sure.
If you want to get your bearings, there are lookout points spread out all over the reserve.
Alright, awesome. Now I'm going to stand up for the time being. Like you see right there, it popped up. Rifle score reward. Plus 33. And doing missions is also an easy way to get cash. Let's go up here to my map. Now, I don't know if you guys can see very well, but that purple right there where I'm at, for every animal you kill, this purple will show up. That is hunting pressure. The brighter that color is, the more the animals will avoid it like the plague. I'm going to go right up here to this lookout point, and I'm going to... Oh, so touchy. Place me a little marker here. Let's pull out the hunter mate right quick. Visit the lookout point. So, do I have a marker? Okay, I already have a marker up here. Now, if you'll notice, when I shot her, everything was in blue because I spotted her. If you spot an animal, then automatically you're tracking that animal. And you see on my hunter mate, it also shows that purple.
There are times when you'll want to be moving fast out here, but not when on a hunt. The animals will hear you coming a mile away.
Now, I mean, the tutorial is pretty, I wouldn't necessarily say pretty thorough.
Stay low when you're stalking an animal to avoid being seen.
Okay, but, let me go back to my... And there's little pop-ups on the left that'll kind of give you an idea of how to play the game. Even if you've never hunted a day in your life. Even if you have no idea what you're doing or how you're doing it. Moose. I have nothing to take on moose. That is a class 8. I'm going to take a little look around. Oh, and by the way, Layton Lake is probably the only place that has no apex predators. And what I mean by that is a strong predator presence that can be a threat to you and your health. But gosh, look at this scenery. Like, this is just beautiful.
Listen, did you hear that?
That's a moose.
Calls are really helpful when locating an animal.
I'm not going after a moose right now because I have absolutely nothing to take him on. But, what was I saying? Oh yeah, what was I saying? Oh well, if it's important, it'll come back to me. I hear you. Now, if you'll note, in the lower right corner, there's a little bit of helpful information down there as well. First off, there's a compass. Tells me which direction I'm going. The white marker in the middle tells me which direction I'm facing. Right now, I'm currently headed north. Now, the green cone is wind direction. Right now, the wind is blowing from in front of me to... Wind is blowing a little bit south. So right now, nothing in front of me can actually smell me. And the three things that animals use is sight, smell, and sound. And as best as I can tell, I'll get into sight in a minute. But right now, my wind direction is great because the wind is blowing away from me. I'm walking into the wind, so nothing in front of me will smell me. Now, that does nothing for my sight or my sound. I'm going to take a minute and look around, see if there's anything up here. Until you upgrade and get a better scope or possibly better binoculars, right now the binoculars are your best bet for getting a look in the distance. Now, they do make some scopes in the game that are way better than these binoculars. My previous game, before I deleted and restarted it for you guys, I actually had one such scope that I could make 300 and 400 yard shots quite easily. Fleeing. Merriam Turkey. Okay. Well, right now I have nothing for class 1. So again, I very easily could make a class 1 kill. And there he goes. I thought I pulled my binoculars up in time. Guess I didn't. Turkey can indeed fly. And I believe you get bonus points if you can pop one out of the air. In some other reserves, some of the birds, you don't get points at all unless you pop them out of the air. There he goes. Yep, Merriam Turkey. But he's class 1, so not going to bother with him right now. Simply because I don't have anything for class 1. Another thing I do enjoy about this game is if you walk through taller stuff, like right now I'm walking through grass that's ankle high and knee high. So I'm going to get the kind of the average amount of sound. However, when I walk through this taller stuff, yeah, you see what I mean? Even you guys can probably hear it, especially those of you that are wearing earbuds or headphones. It's a lot louder when I walk through the taller stuff. It's also louder to the animals, which brings me back to what I was saying in the bottom right corner. There is my compass, and it also tells me wind direction, so that alerts me. I thought I was offline. I am offline. Or I should be anyway. The whole reason I got offline is because I was having problems with my internet earlier, and I did not want that to affect my video. Anywho, so yeah, knowing wind direction and things of that nature, that helps me take care of an animal's sense of smell. That helps me to understand that and to avoid it. Path is over here to my right. I'm gonna run for now because I'm not actually hunting. I'm trying to get to the lookout point. I'm trying to do more of the, I guess you would say, the story, and more or less just kind of get the game started. See if you guys are more interested, or if you guys would be interested in this game. I've got plenty, and I do mean plenty, of content to cover in this game.
Keep your feet moving, I see. Just remember to take a breather before shooting anything.
Which again comes back to my lower right corner icons. My compass and my wind direction takes care of knowing an animal's sense of smell. Like I said, right now, wind direction is perfect. It's wind is blowing behind me. Let me remove that waypoint. Wind direction is blowing behind me, so everything in front of me cannot smell me. Now, of course, the first icon, there's a binocular icon there that tells me I've got my binoculars in hand. Now, if I switch back one, I have my Picasso 357, and you see that I have 6 in the cylinder and 19 to spare. Ooh, they've changed. My Picasso looks different than I remember. I haven't played this game in a couple of weeks, and I saw on the homepage that with the new DLC, they also released a patch that covered a few glitches and changed a few things up. But anyway, but you see that I have 6 in my firearm and 19 to spare. Let me just go ahead and run. Alright. Actually, let me see what this is. It's poop of some kind. It's white-tailed deer. Old is, now, when you come across poop will more or less tell you when that animal was there. Very old, meaning 30 minutes or more. Old, I think, is 15 to 20 minutes. What's the next one up? Fresh is within like 10 to 15 minutes. Very fresh is like 2 minutes to 6 minutes or something like that. It's like you're pretty much right behind that animal unless they're running. And then just now means that it was, it's still warm. They just did it like no less than a minute ago.
Would you look at that view? Never gets old, I'm telling you. From up here, you can see a lot of great hunting spots in the area. Valmont's not only where Hope set up camp, it's also famous for the railroad bridges along the old North Pacific line. Keep an eye out for them if you can in between blacktail hunting. Or, why not use them as vantage points? I once bagged a whitetail from the Runaki Bridge. Be sure to stop by one of the outposts. You can find pretty much anything you need there.
Outpost will be my next stop. So I'm going to go right here. Set me a waypoint. Now, all these green circles with the question can be either a point of interest. That is, it tells a little more story about the map or gives you insight to something. And then you can always go back down here to your codex and you can pull up stuff on any one of... Right now I'm in Layton Lake. So you see there's regions and then there's people. Right now the only people I've met is Colton, Doc, Locke. So the outpost is going to be the next place I go. I also call them safe houses because a lot of games I've played, that's the role they play, is a safe house. Now, while they're green, let me go back to my map. While it's green, that means I have not discovered it. Now, until you go to a lookout tower and, for lack of a better word, unlock that area, you won't be able to see anything in that area except the lookout tower. Now, you see there are quite a few lookout towers spread out. So, again, got my work cut out for me. Kraken rope bridge. What the world we got going on here? Stocking up. So, why is Kraken rope bridge highlighted? Alright, anyways, a little bit of confusion on my part. Let's see. I have one skill point to spend. Now, you have two places that you can spend the skill points. You have Stalker and Ambusher. Ambusher tends to be more in favor of the attack, whereas Stalker tends to be more in favor of keeping yourself stealthy and tracking animals. Level 1 direction. Tracking cone becomes more accurate, narrower, both in the world and on the map. Alright, let's go down here to Ambusher. Not satisfied with performance of scent lures in the store. Becomes scent alchemist level 1. Increases number of uses per canister for all scent lures purchased. Now, I don't have any scent lures right now, so I'm gonna go with Stalker and upgrade my locating tracks perk. Now, that also unlocks tier 1, where I can start doing a little bit more with that, and might be able to get into that next video. Or alright, let's go on down, and here in a moment, whenever, what is that? Coyote class 2, if I remember correctly. Okay, so my 243 can do 2 to 6, which puts the Coyote right within those ranges. I'm just going to have me a real quick look-see. See if I can spot anything. I probably won't, because coyotes, while coyotes are easy to kill, they are notoriously hard to hunt. They are actually hard to see and even harder to sneak up on. 60 to 90. So dude was literally right in front of me the whole time. I'm not seeing anything but trees. This stinks. Let me go up here on top of our rock, see if I can get a better view. He's probably long gone by now, but... or she, whichever the case may be. That is a bear 70 to 100 yards. Which will put... Ooh! Hi there.
Be careful when hunting black bear. Not only are they unpredictable, but they
Damn,
also
2 to
make
6,
very little sound and
2 to
leave few
5,
tracks.
2 to 6.
You can sneak up on one without realizing it. Fortunately, they'll probably notice you before you them and will keep their distance.
And what he's saying is 100% true. Black bears, or any bear for that matter, is actually rather difficult to actually hunt. I have gotten a majority of my bear kills by either sneaking up on them or by, I mean, like, literally sneaking up on them. Like, I would hear the warning call or whatever and immediately go into kind of hiding. What is going on? Okay, fleeing. That's fine. But I would literally, like, be in a location similar to this. I would hear the warning call or whatever, and then the bear go to flee, and right as I'm looking, the bear would go across that open area, and I'd be able to catch a pop shot on him. 70 to 100 yards. But you're class 7. I have nothing to get after you. What is that? Is that a rabbit? No, that's... okay, that's something else. But anyway, back to what I was saying in the bottom right. I have my... Dude is really letting me know that he does not appreciate me being here. But like I said, there are no real apex predators in here that can... like I said, with apex predators, when I say that, I'm talking about predators that will actually go out of their way to harm you. Oh, and by the way, when you spot an animal, you can go to your handy dandy map right here, and you can see the last location that you spotted that particular animal, and then get a little bit of information. It's 1 minute away. There's the latitude, longitude coordinates previously spotted. Does not give much more information than that. But in my bottom right corner there, the green bar is my health. Now, you can be rendered unconscious and have to respawn. It's a pain in the butt. Pain in the butt at best. At the worst, you can also lose some progress. I actually had a scuffle with some wolves in another map, and those wolves can net you a pretty nice payday. They're class 5, if I remember correctly. And, but yeah, the wolves got the better of me, and I lost out on like 4 kills. I was extremely upset. But anyway, down at the bottom right, that green bar is the health. You kind of have to keep an eye on that. Make sure that it never drops below a certain increment. The little heart icon, the white heart icon, as long as it's white, you're good. And to demonstrate, I'm going to look through a scope right quick. Now, I'm going to kind of focus on the tip of that tree there. And you see there's a little bit of aim sway there. If I crouch down, there's a second that the aim sway gets worse, but then my aim sway gradually gets better. However, let me run a few circles. As the heartbeat icon goes up, your aim gets worse. I'm just gonna try to get my heartbeat icon up, and it's starting to pulsate. I want it to turn red. Come on. Come on, let's get that cardio going. There we go. Getting there. Now, go back here now. I'm going to stop right here, crouch down. Now let's try to focus on the tip of that tree again. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell it just by looking at it, which that's crouched down. Let me stand up. The aim sway is much worse. Now, this scope is a very shallow scope. It only goes up to 4x. But the aim sway is also more unpredictable when your heart rate is up. Aim sway can be a little bit predictable, and you can kind of predict where the shot is, or where the scope is going to wander to next. When your heart rate is up, you cannot predict where the scope is going to go. to demonstrate my point, like I said, this is only a 4x scope. So that brown tree right there. So you see, if I was shooting at something the size of that little cluster of leaves right there, can you see how the aim sway could be really like a pain in the butt? Now, but that's all the heart rate icon affects. Now, if you've noticed, the other two icons have been changing with every move that I make. I'm talking about the middle box at this point. Very bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Full circle means that they can see you. They can see you just obvious, like super obvious. Like they will actually notice you out the corner of their eye type see you. Okay, you are super stupid obvious at this point. There's no sneaking going on at all. However, if it turns into... Okay, let me stand still. If it turns into that kind of diagonal sideways diamond symbol, they can see you if they're looking in your direction. Or at least that's how it feels. If the animal's not facing me, or they're side on to me, or broadside on to me, if I'm standing like this, it takes them a minute or two to notice me. Now, if they're already looking at me and I'm just walking, they're gonna bolt. I mean, there's no question about it. Even if I don't see them, I don't have to see them first. If they're looking in my direction, if they're facing my direction, they're going to bolt. Now, the line with the half circle like that, the kind of half closed eye, they can see me if they are looking directly at me. It also has to do with the animal's visual acuity. Like moose have horrible eyesight, whereas coyotes and wolves have excellent eyesight. Really, really good eyesight. So they can see a lot better. Coyotes and wolves can see a lot better than moose can. And then the solid line like that means they can't see you unless they are right there on you. Again, it varies from animal to animal. Some animals have better eyesight than others. Like wolves have super sharp senses of everything across the board. Alright, now finally, the very last icon, the third box at the bottom. It's a little speaker icon. When there's nothing showing up, like it is now, I believe that's 3 dots. Nothing. They cannot hear you. Now at 1 bar, there we go, 1 bar, they can hear you immediately around you, close enough to touch you immediately around you. 2 bars, they can hear you within, I'd guess about 20 yards or so. 3 bars, they can hear you within 100 yards, but they're not necessarily alerted. Now once you start getting into red, like you see when I run, I get 1 red. Just to demonstrate, if I run through tall stuff, you see I'm getting 2 and 3 red there. So when you start getting red bars, that's when they will run, no questions asked. If they hear you, they will run, no questions asked. Now once you get to an outpost and you click on the icon there.
Nice place, right? You won't find a soft bed in many parts around here. Don't forget to stock up before heading out.
We can walk right up here. Now we have the option to open this up.
If you ever need a place to rest, there's a cabin in each outpost. I had them gutted and redone last season.
Now this will be the exact time. Now it is military time. So when you settle on, say if you wanted to get up at 4:30, don't be thinking 4:30 in the afternoon. This is 4:30 a.m. So you would have to go.
Hey there,
1:30.
That guy I mentioned earlier, Hope? Well, looks like he's been having a bit of a problem lately. He's been camping out over at Balmont a couple weeks, but coming back last night, he found his camp turned on its head. Some food was taken, and apparently the place looked like it had been really messed with. I don't know if it was an animal or some tourist troublemakers, but I'm up in Chopeka all day and can't look into it. Listen, I know you probably have other plans, but you're in the right neck of the woods, and I'd sure be grateful if you could just stop on by and have a look.
Alright, now, as I was saying, if you wanted to wait till, say, 4:30 in the afternoon, you would have to stop at 12, and you would have to go 1:30,
Hope showed up
2:30.
here 2 years ago.
God bless him.
Said something about getting off the grid. I heard he lost his family in an accident while he was deployed overseas in the Army. Hit the poor guy hard. I guess out here you only need to look out for yourself. It's easier that way. Not the most cheerful fella, to be honest, but he's earned his peace for sure. Let's find out whoever did this.
Okay, maybe Doc is done running his mouth for a minute. I'm sorry, I forget how much talking goes on in the tutorial. But if you wanted 4:30 in the afternoon, this is how you have to do it. You would have to do 16:30. Because the game is annotated in military time. And no, the game is not in real time. I have not done the math to be sure of how exactly the math in the game works. But you see at the bottom, it costs 250 credits to take a rest. So if you're broke, unfortunately, that might be a slight problem. However, it's fairly easy to get credits. You see that I've only killed one animal. And just by doing the missions, I've got 3,589 credits. Which is a good start, but really and truly it's not a lot of money. Now, for every outpost, you have the bed to rest in, you have the marker on your map, and right over here, this red locker is where you can find equipment. And equipment is broken apart into multiple sections. Now, you see the 270 Stradivarius, and give me a second to find it. The Ranger 243 I already have green check marks by because I already own them. Now there you see accuracy, reload speed, recoil, and hip shot. Now these values vary from one gun to the next because of the fact that a little while back there was a special event to where you were pretty much given bonus items. The 270 Stradivarius is one such bonus item. The 270 is a slightly better rifle than the 243, in my opinion. There is no weapon that is better than the other across the board, because if you want to rewind the video and pause it for a second, the accuracy, reload speed, recoil, and hip shot change. Now, of course, the higher the recoil, the more kickback there is. Now, some of these are going to be DLCs, whether it's DLC with one of the reserve DLCs or a direct DLC. Now, I can say that if you do think about getting a direct DLC, like here, the Arzina 300 Mag Tactical, that was a direct DLC. That was out of the newest DLC, if I remember correctly. But everything is separated from rifles to handguns to shotguns to bows. And again, you see all the ones that say free beside them. Those are direct downloads. Now here is your ammunition. A little helpful tip: if I'm like, okay, I'm running low for my Ranger rifle, can I use 223? Now, obviously, anyone that knows anything about firearms, the answer is absolutely not. But let's say that you did not know about firearms. It's your first time playing the game. You have no idea what ammunition goes in what firearm. Well, you see down there at the bottom, there's A to buy and X for compatible items. I can go to compatible items. Oh, it goes into 223 Dawson, the Zarza 223. Okay, there's two different Zarza 223s. So that's the only firearms that the 223 ammunition will work with. Same thing with handgun ammunition, shotgun ammunition, and arrows. Now, if I went down here to scopes, I start with the Ascent 1 to 24. Let's say, okay, this particular scope, for whatever reason, it looks better than the Argus. The Argus is an 8 to 16. The Hill, well, I meant the Hyperion. let's say that I think the Argus or the Helios looks, or is it the Helios? Okay, the Helios looks better than the Hyperion, but the rifle I have is the Ranger 243, which is bolt action. Can I use the Helios on my Ranger 243? Well, down there on X, I can click compatible items. Oh no, it only works on lever action rifles. Whereas the Hyperion, which by the way, these are both exactly the same, 4 to 8 by 32, 4 to 8, actually the Hyperion has a slightly bigger objective lens. It's a 4 to 8 by 42. If I click X for compatible items, 270 Stradivarius, the 7mm Regent, the Zarza 15, so on and so forth. Everything that is single shot or bolt action or semi-auto, I can use that particular scope on. And the same thing with handgun scopes, the shotgun sights, and the bow sights. Down here is all my lures. Now, all of the lures, where was I? Oh yeah, all the lures cost the same price, if I remember correctly. Now, if you notice, I have to be a level 5 before I can purchase the antler rattle. And some of these are, same thing. Now, you do start with a handful of these. You see, I started with the Axis, the Beacon the Beacon Deluxe Bean Goose. There's the Beacon Deluxe Eurasian Teal, and so on and so forth. I have a handful of collars to start with. But see, the collars that are, well, I would say good. Now, that one was a DLC. Now, while this collar is great, because you can literally use any call in the map, and you can put that collar wherever you want. So instead of the animal coming to you, the animal goes to the collar. You can set up wherever you want, pop a tree stand, tripod stand, or a ground blind, and take the shot when the animal goes to check out the sound. Problem is, that thing weighs 3.5 pounds, whereas all your other collars are only a half pound. So, right off the rip, you're only allowed 20 pounds. So, carrying 3.5 pounds is, to me, is a substantial amount of weight. But you see, again, a lot of these I have to be a higher level. And I hear turkeys. Now, down here with scents, same thing. Before I can get scent lures. Scent lures work pretty well. The only problem is they only work in the direction the wind is blowing. But a lot of these scents can be for the slightly harder to attract, like right here, musk deer, the Siberian musk deer. There is no call for that deer, so the musk deer scent works really well on those guys. Moose, same thing, because moose, while they do respond to their calls fairly well, the call itself, I don't know if you guys noticed, you have to be a pretty high level to get the moose collar. Where's it at? Is that it? Yes. Moose collar, you got to be a 25. Do you know how long it takes to get level 25? Anyways, and decoys. Decoys are all for class 1. That's for geese, the Eurasian teals, the golden eyes, gray-lag goose, harlequin duck, magpie goose, and the mallard, the tufted duck. Okay, so there's the wild turkeys that, but again, like I said, all class 1. Consumables, you can get doggy biscuits that are really, really helpful for forming a stronger bond with your dog if you choose to hunt with a dog. Dogs are DLCs. Oh, I hear you. Scent Eliminator, while Scent Eliminator is very, very helpful, it is also very expensive. Same thing with doggy biscuits, 4,000 credits for 25. But it does let your dog be feel rewarded for, golly, I gotta get 12,000 before I can get the outfit I actually like. I like the Blaze Orange outfit because it goes with practically any map. Backpacks. Backpacks allow you to carry more, like you see the very first one, the Extra Venner 32 Light Day Pack. You can carry an extra 6 pounds. However, they can hear you a lot easier and see you a lot easier. So, this is all that I have for you guys today. Tune in next time and we will see where this adventure takes us.